introduction, giving you an introduction about basically Jacobs Port Solutions, the end-to-end services, and what is it about, and why we have Jacobs come up with this type of services and adapted the current port and maritime services into, well, the future. So without taking any further time, very briefly, the agenda that we have for this conversation, a welcome message. I'm going to very briefly introduce myself, um, a brief introduction about Jacobs Ports and Maritime globally, and I'm going to go through the Port Solutions end-to-end services. And there's 3 slides for project experience, just as a reference for the audience. The Jacobs have some interesting and messages that reminds us what our mission is, or what we should be look up to. And I find these 2 very aligned with what this conversation is about. Where we're challenging today, where we basically challenge what is accepted, the current state, the current practice, and put our expertise and experience into resolving the problems of the future, which in the current world is our day-to-day exercise. And by that, we're reinventing the future, reinventing tomorrow. So where we help our clients to have positive impacts in solutions we provide for a better world and more sustainable, which also forms part of what this conversation is about, because the byproduct of what we're going to be discussing today is more sustainable and reliable port operations. This is a brief introduction of myself. My name is Aldo Ferrufino. I'm a Port Solutions Director for Jacobs. I'm currently based in Dubai. I have 20 years of experience in the industry, mostly in container port operations, where I worked in the past with 2 of the upcoming and biggest port operators in the world, Hutchison Ports and ICTSI. Further worked with China Harbor as a construction contractor in the Americas as project director, and been with Jacobs now out of Dubai doing the port solutions and working out of Dubai globally. My expertise nowadays is focused on port development and solutions, project director for full life cycle container ports and marine terminals, and that involves planning, design, and delivery of these facilities. A quick introduction of Jacobs Ports and Maritime business globally. Jacobs, as you might have seen in other presentations, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, engineering company in the world. Has over 55 to 50,000, let's say, employees worldwide. Annual revenue 13 billion as last year. On the right side, there's a timeline of Jacobs when 2016 acquired CH2M Hill, which is some of us came from, where the core of our port maritime practice sits. In terms of the capabilities of Jacobs Ports and Maritime, we have summarized them in the following slide, where number 1 is container terminals, coastal protection, asset management, bulk and general cargo terminals, dredging and reclamation, cruise and ferries, and so on. Crosses the whole spectrum of port and marine facilities, from shipyards also, and also industry product handling, equipment handling, etc. In terms of the port and maritime practice, we are number 1 in the world. Over 200 professionals in this space, mainly located in New York, UK, Dubai. In Europe, there's over 100 professionals, There's several terminals that we have worked in the past and currently working in, same in Asia Pacific and the Middle East and Africa. Jacobs Ports and Maritime also has been involved in the development of many of the world's most prominent container terminals, especially in the Middle East with Jebel Ali Container Terminal, Khalifa Port, and in the UK and Felixstowe and London Gateway. This is a map that very high level presents the blue dots is where the company has done ports in its history. It has over 150 years serving the industry. Now, that comes through a legacy of Halcro and CH2M, which presents this variety of geographies of projects that have been undertaken. Now, a quick introduction of end-to-end services. The Jacobs Port Solutions practice has been developed recent years, 2 years, where the demand for these services and solutions for clients have been increasing and being more prominent. So in the introduction here, we might see a lot of this in the news, and we read it a lot, and each one of our countries and regions are facing different challenges. But basically, what the industry is requiring is transformation because it's increasing demand on services, solutions, and also legacy systems and practices don't really apply anymore because they need to be more flexible and more reactive. Therefore, the digital age has come to the port industry. It has already arrived for a while, but it has been behind, but it's catching up very quickly. So the robotics, data analytics, AI are basically taking over more and more into the operations, making it intelligible and more flexible, but also that also follows on with providing flexible infrastructure. So Jacobs has partnered with international companies, Transport Services, IGO, Avalino, and AI Drivers, to basically develop a group of partners that can provide a whole holistic turnkey solution for clients in their port developments, existing port, new ports, and facilities. As mentioned earlier, this summarizes quickly what caused this change in patterns, and this demand is constantly evolving global markets, geopolitical dynamics, unforeseen events as we have now, the global pandemic. There are changes in consumption, trade patterns, some of them created by geopolitics. Also, there are needs for optimization and advancement in technology, also created by some by regulation, others by business needs, also related to making ports more sustainable and more environmentally friendly. Also, the bottom line when we go talk about the business is there is more competition, margins are leaner, the industry is more competitive. So that pushes the whole ecosystem to reinvent itself. So we taking those changes and causes of change and seeing our clients, the port operators, global port operators, port authorities, etc., they have started to look for these different solutions and services that can fit their needs. There's no one fits all solution, and this is where you will see in this presentation how we tailor these solutions to fit your situation or the situation of the client. So holistically, we bring together components for a project life cycle complete. because there are elements that clients normally procure individually. So, for example, a client would procure the civil works and separately would procure the equipment of the port, or separately would procure the systems of the port. Now, what we do is to bring all those things together, we connect all the dots, and we provide the clients a whole consolidated package, not only in the management of the packages, but also in the technical support and engineering of the package. So it's, in the end, clients receive a turnkey. It's a non-traditional approach, this one, because engineering companies traditionally have not provided this type of services. And myself, being a port operator for many years, experienced that there was a gap in the industry related to these matters. So we take the intelligent port operations, so we basically demystify it and provide solutions accessible to everyone. So each and every port can have a certain level of automation or solutions that benefit their own particular case. And we service not only ports, because it's important to understand that ports are part of the logistics chain, the logistics infrastructure, but that goes to rail, inland depots, roads, etc. So we cut across all those disciplines and services in the end-to-end scheme. In this slide on the right side, there's a small diagram that presents in very high level, in simple terms, what end-to-end services entail, which is basically from pre-project all the way to port facility operations commissioning, on the problem development life cycle, the operation of the facility. Includes end-to-end front-end activities like business modeling, port solutions that you might do at the start, like business process mapping, for example. And the important thing about this site, we'll see this in further slides, but the important thing on this end-to-end services that we believe is fundamental for clients is that we are supplier independent. We don't have any affiliation to any port equipment, for example, supplier. Therefore, our solutions are adaptable and tailored for what the client needs and the mode operation that the client needs and has. And we help them to develop that further, and for them to have the options to go to market and procure whichever equipment, for example, or operation motor systems we help them determine that is the best for them. So key objectives of end-to-end, we base this, our objective is always try to keep it simple. We help you maximize the utilization and management of your assets based on your current state of operations, basically using your current state as your baseline, which is the start of your journey for the optimization of your port. I say optimization, no automation, because you don't necessarily need to automate your port to optimize your port. We help clients, this is very common now, to migrate their operations from manual operations to autonomous operations or automated operations in phases. So it's not that you grab a project and you turn the switch on and everything is automated. No, it's a journey that we look and help the clients to navigate to that journey of existing equipments, new equipment, systems, their capital expenditure, how best to expend their money, and when and what can be included in their different operational expenses. It applies to new port developments also, where from the start of the planning of the port, which we are currently doing in some places, we are already considering these conditions where you might have ports that you want to start with manual operations and then have the flexibility to transform these operations in the future into autonomous. We help you with that, those considerations. And also in the terminal systems, we, our partners and ourselves, we provide our systems based on artificial intelligence, which they actually also merge with your existing terminal operating systems and improve them. Um, it helps you in the bottom line is optimize your capex and opex, and it's a flexible application as it can be applied to ports and other logistics infrastructure, intermodal yards, warehousing, and so on. The end-to-end solution suite. Uh, all of our disciplines, we are grouping them in three major groups of solutions, which are business solutions, intelligent port solutions, and technical solutions. These solutions are driven by client needs rather than engineering disciplines. So basically, we see the engineering discipline servicing a need of a project. Or not only engineering disciplines, but other disciplines that are also under end-to-end, some strategic advisories, financial planning, which some of these help clients nowadays outsource these services because some clients of ours or port authorities and so on don't have the expertise in-house to or the size of the company or the organization to support this expertise to have in-house. Therefore, we provide them these services to help them outsource this. For example, crane procurement, specifications, third-party inspections for crane procurement, we help them with those type of services. And also, as I mentioned earlier, it brings non-traditional capabilities and scope with our external global partners to an engineering consultancy arena that was not previously offered. So that's why it repurposes or the traditional engineering services that we all know of consultancy into next generation ready solutions that can integrate, that basically integrate technology, the delivery, and the operation disciplines all into one single source package. On the right side, you would see a diagram that has the three core solution packages, and it all services through a facility maturity cycle. So basically, these solutions can be applied at any stage of maturity of your facility. It's not that you have to have a whole new port to implement different solutions or improvements. This can be applied at any time, at any maturity stage of your port. Also, that's important to say because end-to-end is actually scalable. You can pick if you need to procure port crane equipment, we can help you with that. If you need to evaluate how to optimize your port systems, not only the operating systems, but your port systems overall, we can help you with that. So, or if you have to do a whole port expansion from the master planning all the way through to the construction and commissioning, we can also help you with that. So it's all under one single roof. There's a small shot here that summarizes these business solutions. There's three distinct stages of maturity cycles in a project, where you have the front end and business development stage. That's where all your inception of your project happens, concession negotiations happen, all your master planning happens, and so on, feasibility. You have the execution stage, is when the execution of the project actually happens, the engineering, design, construction, and the operational stage, which is the after the facility start operations. Now, this is an important table because more than half of the clients we have in terms of end-to-end fall into the operational stage, basically want to improve and optimize their operations. So some of the projects we have actually go backwards from the operational stage. You go into execution stages, or from operational stages, they jump into the feasibility of the project and then go back to the execution stage, and they just jump back into operational. So it is, that's why it's a flexible servicing model. Then again, it fits your facility maturity stage. So business solutions are related to due diligence, financial transaction support, master planning, business process mapping of your operations to, for example, identify gaps and pressure points to help you improve those, feasibility, etc. Technical solutions. This is more of the core of what traditional engineering companies would provide for you, which is, for example, the port planning, engineering designs, the program management, construction supervisions are at this stage, but we add port equipment services, for example, which are not traditionally offered, and intelligent solutions, which are then where our terminal simulations go, digital twins, logistics modeling, AI terminal operating systems, predictive analytics, etc. So that is the third part of the third leg of the table. So all these three solutions can take your project from a complete inception idea all the way to a full commissioned operating facility. In terms of non-traditional services that we provide, in terms of port equipment and terminal systems, we provide turnkey equipment procurement and project management for equipment specifications. We help you with the tender and procurement, design reviews, FEM modeling to evaluate the crane structures if necessary, and also third-party inspections, commissioning, and handover of the equipment. Asset management also of equipment. We provide plans, asset lifecycle management evaluations, competency standards. We help you set KPIs and all these different aspects. And the terminal operating systems and business solutions, these are tailored for your individual needs. Could it be a port community system that you establish in your port as a port authority, or as an operator that owns logistics zones? Also very important nowadays is cybersecurity solutions. We integrate this into the port solutions, where cranes have also drives and systems that run the PLCs of the cranes. And this can also be risk points for ports. The business process mapping and SOPs of terminals, we help you with that. The AI terminal analysis development, terminal operating system solutions, vessel tracking systems, system failure predictability. So the whole suite of terminal operations and business solutions, we provide that service also to your facility, and we tailored these to help you improve your current systems, or if you want to replace and put a new system, we can help you with that also. Also, in terms of autonomous mobility and operations, we bring that to our services, where these are scalable. Also, where we can help you convert the equipment you have into autonomous on the yard, either trucks or cargo handling equipment, for example, like reach stackers and so on. Or if you want to procure new equipment that is either autonomous ready, fully autonomous, or autonomous ready, we help with the specifications and the procurement process of that. And also to our partners, these autonomous systems, we help you with the control systems that integrate with the operating systems together for running a seamless operation. These are our 4 global partners that I mentioned earlier. Trendport Services, which is the equipment solutions provider, IGO Solutions, which is the terminal operating system provider. Avellino is the AI solutions engine provider, and AI drivers, which is our autonomous mobility port equipment partner. Now, all these four companies strengthen Jacobs' already experience in ports and in the industry to bring you this unique offering to the market. So next stage, I want to talk about a little about what our vision is in terms of intelligent ports, and discuss a little bit about what is autonomous, what is automated, in order to demystify this a little bit. So we read a lot and hear about a lot about smart ports, intelligent ports, and so on. So basically, in our view, an intelligent port or a smart facility is a facility that has their processes optimized, continuously optimized. And this is important to understand, because a smart port is not a one-off exercise that you install a software or system or an AI system, for example, and that's it, it's all completed. No, the artificial intelligence system continuously learns and improves itself, same as technologies improve and the environment and everything in the world changes. So your port has to be intelligent enough to adapt for the future. So a smart port is a continuous journey throughout the life of your facility. So that's why the solutions we provide are rooted in AI and have the autonomous connotation to it, considering that your facility can be future ready based on what current state you have and what future processes and operations you will have. You don't have to build a new port. You don't have to demolish and reconstruct a whole of infrastructure to have an autonomous AI operation of your port. It depends on other factors, mostly related to health and safety, traffic, and etc. Another interesting solution that is being more and more required is the port community systems, where all these different ports and entities and stakeholders of a port ecosystem are coming together. Some of these already exist, and they are being evolved. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I can still see slide 16. I don't know if you are going down in the presentation, but
yes, I'm in slide 22 right now.
I don't know if it's my problem or anyone else's problem.
Anyone else is facing the same problem.
Let me update.
Does it improve now?
Yeah, there's.
Change?
Yeah, now I have rejoined, and there's not sharing any presentation now. So it looks like.
Let me try again. Let me just reshare this.
Yeah, thanks.
Let me see. Share your screen. Is it sharing again?
Yes.
Okay, so it's slide 22. Is that what you're seeing right now?
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
All right. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. So the difference between autonomous and automated operations, it's quite interesting to discuss and understand. In general, the difference between an automatic or automated behavior and an autonomous one is basically the degree of what human intervention it has. An automated, for example, vehicle doesn't have the same level of intelligence or independence that an autonomous vehicle would have. For example, the self-driving vehicles. So, in terminals, you can say it's a game of words between automated and autonomous. What is an automated terminal? What is an autonomous terminal? So you need to understand what are the implications of each one of these, and what are the needs that you have to implement each one of these levels of autonomous or automated operations. Also, as we say, as autonomy is for everyone. Anybody can have an automated terminal nowadays. Again, with the existing infrastructure, we don't go and change the mode of your operation. For example, if you have RTG operation on the yard, we help you to transform that operation autonomous. You don't need to modify the civil infrastructure for that. Also, we help you to convert the equipment you have depending on its conditions. So we don't tell you straight off to basically scrap your equipment and buy a new one, simply because we are not affiliated to any port equipment supplier. It's a humanized environment, how it operates. So basically, humans are with the port equipment in the same environment. Same Google cars drive around the cities. Also, for example, in terms of the operating system, we don't tell you that you have to scrap and delete your operating system. We help you improve your operating system and make it more intelligent through patches and other supplements to it. This an animation of our partners AID, which basically shows a quick layer of their technology. Now, in terms of intelligent ports and terminal solutions, this slide just brings up the fact that if you have a small percentage of improvement in your productivities, even a 5% increase in productivity in any part of your operation, any of these can amount to large amount of millions of dollars in competitive advantage and margins in your terminal a long time. And this can be achieved, and we have achieved it in some terminals, by applying the terminal solutions into the operating systems, using the same equipment, the same infrastructure, only just tinkering with the operating systems and making them more intelligent. The terminal operating systems of today, even though they're starting to change now, are basically follow rules. They're rule-based. Yeah. So that means that they don't adapt to different situations or changes. They need to bring in the vendor to make the different adjustments, patches, etc. And that's where the problem is. When the rules changes, you have to change the operational procedures and so on and so forth. And that in the operating systems and solutions we provide, that is not the case, because our systems basically are self-learning, and they, as I said, they improve other systems like Navis, for example, where they are plugins to these systems and make them more smart and more self-independent. We have done this in some terminals already around the world. Some quick journey to efficiency samples of this type of solutions. This is a quick schematic, very high level of phases of implementing a smart port, where the phase one is where you start with your business process. I think we always recommend to start with that, which basically you go through the different processes of your terminal, and you set a baseline and you start identifying the gaps where you have to, where you would start, say, optimizing the the processes, say quick wins towards more difficult wins long term. The second phase, in terms of operation solutions, that's where we provide you, based on the business process mapping, we can help you. If you have issues in your yard, we help you improve your yard operations and systems. If it's something related to the birth, we can also help you with that, for example. So these different packages are standalone. They're not, they are independent, or you can get them all together. So that also helps in that flexibility in to optimize your operation and your business throughout time. And the phase three is the if you have a longer term or goal, then the that's when you start investing in the equipment and all the different further investments you will do on your facility. Um, the next slide is related to very high level on a port roadmap as a sample. Where you start with the, for example, with the business process mapping and its objectives, where you evaluate the terminal processes and so on. Then you go into the intelligent port operation feasibilities. In the case, for example, this is a terminal expansion. So in this stage, you work with the client or the operator to determine what level of degree of automation or autonomy you really need or you want in your operations. Then we help you develop the master plan of the terminal, as the case is, where we include not only infrastructure but equipment and systems. And based on the growth of your facility to the boundaries of development that you're looking at, then it goes to the concept engineering and the implementation schedule and costing. And then if you carry on, you will go into the execution of it. Some of these cases, some clients, we have started helping them develop port communities, etc., and integrating terminals together and intermodal operations. Other key benefits, for example, this is another key benefit of an autonomous operation where fuel efficiency is achieved. This was here in the Middle East, one terminal where systems were implemented, and there are efficiencies of up to 30% in fuel consumption. Basically because the machine is the one that is driving the vehicle, not a person. Also, autonomous driving reduces risks of accidents. And if you are procuring new equipment, these new trucks can be battery operated, and also they provide less impact to the environment. So in summary, if your current operations, we help you with business process mapping, which is the first thing we normally recommend to undertake. Then we review your operations and processes and recommend improvements based on pressure points. And we also look at your port, for example, in terms of how ready it is to be an intelligent port, and help you define a path forward in whichever level of automation or intelligent implementation you actually need. And in future plans, as I mentioned, the master planning, concept engineering, schedule of cost, also creating digital twins of terminals, of existing terminals, new terminals, which is also something that is more and more common nowadays, especially for port authorities, to have understanding of the whole facilities and the whole port itself, including the marine side. Then very quickly, I have a couple of slides in relation to projects that Jacobs has done on ports. This one was in Virginia in the United States, an automated facility. Jacobs was the engineering designer for the infrastructure. Again, an automated terminal. You might have seen many of these around. This is an electric terminal. Also, this one, TraPack container terminal, same type of operation. Now, something interesting to mention in these terminals is that when people talk about an automated terminal, they immediately think of this type of terminal, which is terminals that have ASCs or cranes that are perpendicular to the berth operation, and which are more traditionally seen in around the world, especially in Europe. Now, nowadays, you can have an automated and autonomous terminal with your current operation of rubber tire gantry cranes and so on. So the that means that you don't have to change your mode of operation. You don't have to make expensive changes to the civil infrastructure in order to have operating a terminal that is automated, semi-automated, or ready for the future of automation or autonomous operation. And this is one example that we are doing here in the Middle East for Etihad Railway, which is a network of rail around the whole Middle East peninsula and starts here in the UAE. And we have been developing the second phase of it, which have different facilities in different ports. And in this case, at the lower right side is the development of this facility in Khalifa Port in Abu Dhabi. Again, same concept, where we are helping them not only with the civil infrastructure, but also we have been helping them with the operating system specifications and so on for these facilities. And that would be the end of my presentation. If you want any more information regarding this subjects or end-to-end, please feel free to contact myself at this contact info details, or through our colleagues of Jacobs in Italy.
Yeah, thank you. I have a question about the resilient infrastructure that you have mentioned.
Yes.
Before. Is that something that client asked for, or